Hi guys, so today I'm going to do a video on sort of how to survive UCAS Extra, which if you're from England you may know it is UCAS is a service that helps with your applications for mainly for university, but some colleges do it as well. And it's usually UCAS Extra is usually a service that they provide if you do not get into any of your I think it's usually about 5 choices, which happened to me unfortunately. Because I chose 5 universities sort of from the start. You can choose from between 1 and 5. It's really up to you what you choose to do really. But if you're watching this video on UCAS Extra, you've probably already done that bit. So I chose Brighton, Birmingham City, UWE, so that's University of Western England, Coventry and Southampton. And as you can probably tell, the only one that I got into was Coventry, but there's some weird ways of how that happened. Because all of those, including Coventry to start off with, denied me. Because I got denied from all 5, I, like many of you probably at the moment, went into the UCAS Extra sort of pot of people, which means that you can choose 1 extra choice of so you can do the same uni in a different course, or you can do a different uni entirely and a different course, or you can do a university and the same course that you originally wanted to study. And it depends on the university if they will allow you to change your personal statement. Luckily I did, but not all universities will do this, so it's sort of luck, I guess, if you change your course, if you get to change your personal statement as well or not. Thing is that's really important about your UCAS Extra is most courses will require you to do an interview. I know there are some that don't. I'm not 100% sure on what those courses are, you'll have to look that up, but there are a lot of courses that require you to do an interview, and as I'm doing a course that is very centred around people, the interview was a very important process. Now for nursing, I know not everyone watching this will be doing nursing or midwifery or medical courses, but for nursing, I think midwifery as well, but I'm not 100% sure, you are required to do a maths and English test, and that is to make sure that you can do like sort of drug calculations and reading paperwork and stuff, which you will need to do for the job. So it's very important that you understand sort of basic English and basic numeracy. So a good way to prepare for interviews is making sure that you sort of research the course and the university that you want to go to, because they could ask you questions on sort of why did you choose blah university. Maybe there's a university called blah, I don't know. Probably not, but you know what I mean. And they can also say why did you choose this course? Like for example, the only real examples that I know are with nursing, because that's the course that I've applied for. For example, they may say, why did you do child nursing when instead of adult nursing, for example. I did have that question and apparently I answered it quite well. Also, you have to make sure that if you do have certain tests, like maybe an ICT test or a maths test or an English test, you revise those and look up some past papers on sort of the questions that you might get, just so that you have a rough idea of the sort of style of the questions. And also, most of you, unless you took maths English or ICT for A level, you haven't done that course for 2 years. So it's not going to be in your head. Another thing is for UCAS Extra, because that's the main point of this video, is don't panic. Don't panic at all, because you will get through it. If you don't unfortunately get into university this time, it's not the end of the world. And this is coming from someone who almost didn't go to university this year. Or who isn't almost going to university this year, I mean. So it's not the end of the world. You can always apply again next year, or you can, what would be a good thing is try and get experience in whatever field, course, whatever you want to do. So, for example, if you're doing nursing, this is, I don't know any other examples, but if you want to do nursing, and like for me, child nursing specifically, what you want to do is see if you can get experience in a school or a nursery, seem to be the most popular ones. But if you can, it's very difficult, but if you can, try and get a placement or something in a hospital, because that is like gold dust. And also I did work in a sort of in a special needs nursery for a bit, so that gives me like a broad range of experience that I can talk about in my personal statement and talk about in my interviews. Because in your interviews, you can sort of in some ways shape your interview around your personal statement, because a lot of the questions, 9 times out of 10, that they will ask you is plucked from your personal statement. So they'll be like, oh, I've seen that you've done, like, you have a hobby of, I don't know, skateboarding. What skills has that given you that can apply to this course or whatever? That's a really bad example, but you see what I mean. Like, they'll pluck from your experiences that you've had. If you've got hobbies down there, like what your hobbies are, then they'll maybe talk about that. They may talk about your sort of educational stuff that you may put in. So like if you're doing A-levels, for example, and you're doing a subject that you really enjoy, they may talk about that. So it's all sort of looking back through your personal statement and sort of thinking of questions that they might ask you, and then think of some suitable answers. Maybe also, this is sort of going again back to interview practice. See if you have a friend, or maybe even better if you've got like an older sibling like I have that's at university, then, or just anyone really, like a parent or a friend or brothers, sisters, your granddad, I don't know. Then maybe get them to ask, it's not going to be exactly the same, but get them to ask you some questions and you answer them how you would do in the interview, and then they can see what's good, what's bad, what you may need to improve on, because no one's perfect. You know, no one's gonna be brilliant at interviews the first time that they do it. Oh, and also another point, do not get upset at your first interview if you don't get in, because you've got another 4 chances of that. Couldn't think about maths for a minute then. But it's very often that, I mean, unfortunately, if your first interview that you get is your first choice, then do your best. But it's not, like I said, the end of the world if you don't get in. So, like I said, just overall, don't panic if you don't get in. Just try your best, learn to prepare, and with very competitive courses, some people don't even get in their first year. Some people I know didn't even get into their second chance. It's basically a third time lucky thing, really. Some people unfortunately never get in, but it's all about gaining that experience, building your confidence, preparing and practicing, and making sure that you try your best. And also, UCAS Extra is a good chance to possibly rethink your career choice or the course that you want to do. So this is sort of like your one chance really to change. Well, it's not your one chance because you've got clearing later in August, which is a whole nother video, but I didn't go into clearing, so I'm not the best person to ask about that. But it's sort of, basically just take it as an opportunity to possibly change your original plans, because odds are you chose where you wanted to go like a good sort of 4 or 5 months ago. You decided what you wanted to do, and maybe you didn't know at the time what you wanted to do. I have some friends that aren't going to university next year. They're sort of taking a gap year to sort of to earn some more money, think about what they really want to do, and yeah. So take it in your stride. Don't worry about it if you go through UCAS Extra. It's not scary. It's not... I'd say it's not different, but the process is a little bit different. It may seem confusing at first, but it's really not. All you gotta do is just sort of go through the UCAS Extra process, say what university you want to go to, say what course you want to do, and possibly change your personal statement to fit with the course, and basically just go through the process again. It's not the end of the world. And if you don't get into your UCAS Extra place originally, you can choose another one. I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think you can choose up to 3, I think. But I'm not sure. I know you can't go on and on and on and on and on. But you can choose one at a time, and I think you have up to 3 chances of getting in. And if you don't, then you can go through clearing in August. It's fine. Some people I know got a place at university, but they still went through clearing to try and change their career option or whatever. So like I said, don't panic, don't get worried, and you'll be fine. And say down in the comments like how you get on. I'd be really interested to know sort of what you've decided to do. Anyway, bye guys.